guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and be working on a new profile picture for this art channel. This is gonna be kind of like a chibi style. I don't really have an art style of my own, and I think that's alright. I'm not really looking to have an art style. I actually am at a point in my art career that I'm exploring different art styles and having fun with them to challenge myself. I want to go ahead and just talk about my thought process on this piece of work. I used to have like a little yeah, it was like two different pictures. One of them was Invader Zim GIF, and then the other one was a girl picture that would show up on the videos. I don't think I had it really set up to show up in the videos, but now this one will be the one that shows up as the like picture for this channel. This is a chibi based style, so it's not gonna go ahead and like be too like crazy and complicated like the previous art piece that I did for my stream. This one is gonna be pretty simple. It didn't take me as long as the other one. I went ahead and just let myself enjoy the process more than wondering what is it gonna look like at the end, because that's always been my downfall, is always looking ahead, way too ahead, and not enjoying the process of making the art. So I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I never drew chibi art officially before. Whenever I was like first starting off with art, it was always doodles. It was never anything based on a reference, based on anything. It was just doodle, 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 doodle. It would look weird, it would look good sometimes. It was always a gamble. But I had a couple of references via Google. Will try to maybe put some up if I can find some. So I found some where they were holding objects. Like I looked up ones specifically holding objects. I based this on those pictures. Whenever I was growing up, I always thought if you use a reference, you're cheating. You're cheating it, and you're not actually like an artist. You're just a hack at that point. But no, it's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine to go ahead and use a reference. So it did take me a while to really get it down, because like I said, I am not used to this style. I was doing a profile too of it, like a profile for the profile, kind of funny, but it was a good challenge. I feel pretty confident with how this sketch turned out. It was a very, very rough sketch. It was also very, very simple. And that's what people need to understand. A lot of times whenever people go ahead and do sketches, they want to go ahead and do all the details. You know, this is the glasses, these are the clothes, these are the clothes wrinkles, this and that. This is the details I'll be on. And it's like, no, whenever you do the rough sketch, and I'm talking about like the first sketch, it should always be shape based. Whether or not the character has the eyelashes, whether or not they have their clothes on, whether or not they have hair, you know. And what I like to do sometimes, I don't always do this, but sometimes in order to help me really, you know, tell these shapes apart, is whenever I do the hair and the sketching or the clothes and the sketching, I do it in a different color. And this just helps me because I can look at the shapes and tell the difference. And I always do the hair and the clothes a lighter color, because what matters more to me is the face, because the face is what will really draw people in. The hair is cute and everything, but it's just hair, and the clothes can be cute, but they're just clothes. And so after getting the sketch and like cleaning it up a little bit, adding the clothes, adding the hair, I go ahead and try to outline it. And outlining was like super easy. It was super easy because I actually knew what I was doing this time. I used references, I understood what I was doing. I did try a couple of times to just freehand it, be like, I know what I'm doing, I don't need any reference. And that's one of the hardest things to do as an artist, is to shake off some of that pride. Because a lot of the time, if you're an artist like me that grew up through like the Tumblr age and the Instagram artist age, then you definitely like were around toxic people who tried to tell you that you should be doing this, you can't do that, yada yada, policing what artists can and can't do when they themselves weren't even like good artists to begin with. What makes a good artist is not whether or not you can go ahead and make some realistic painting. It's just to be able to just put what is in your imagination down onto paper. I know these videos tend to be just me ranting, and they're not scripted at all. These videos are like, these time lapses are not scripted. It's just me talking as I go ahead and like watch my own time lapse. I do need to go ahead and work on other stuff. I need to work on a lot more things as time goes on. But because life is so difficult and it's so busy, that it's just hard. I want to have more time for my art. I want to make this a job, but it's really, really difficult when I think of it as a job, because I have so many other things I'd rather be doing. I mean, editing videos, I love to edit videos. If I can edit videos for someone like part-time and get paid for it, I'll do it. If I can get paid for doing, you know, an art piece once or twice a month, I'll also do that. But that's not really good money, especially not nowadays. You need to constantly be working. Constantly. And it doesn't give you much time to do things you actually enjoy or like. It's just, and that's how a lot of the times the fun gets taken out of like things you do enjoy. Because if you do make it as a career, if you're one of the lucky ones that you can get your business off the ground or whatever it is, like your channel or whatever, you'll end up having to do that a lot, and it could probably get a little tiring and frustrating because you just want to enjoy it and have fun and do it on your own time. Now, if you're an influencer, YouTuber, or what have you, it's probably a lot easier to do those stuff in your own time. But if you're like an artist or an animator, a writer, an editor, doing stuff on your own time is actually not gonna work out as easily, because you'd have to actually be having things constantly pumping out, you know? You have to like go ahead and put effort into it. At least with like some YouTubers, I'm not saying all, but some YouTubers, you'll have to go ahead and just record your reaction to something, or you're playing something or what have you. But like if you're someone who does like any creative projects, you have a lot of planning that goes behind a lot of it. It's not just a, ooh, what game am I gonna play today? Or, ooh, what am I gonna review now? What am I gonna no, it's okay, what am I gonna work on? What is this project gonna be? And it's because they're all projects. And that's what's been so hard for me. And that's why there's not so many videos. Seems to be like one every month. Not even. I've had this done for a couple of days already. And I don't know. I put it in the back burner. I really, really loved how it came out. It wasn't like anything like, oh, I was ashamed of how it looked or how it came out. No, I loved it. I post on my Discord server like the progress I make and how it goes ahead and looks at the end way before any of the videos come out. So if you want to join that Discord server, you can just check in the description down below. I think swallowing pride, especially if you grew up in the Instagram and Tumblr era of art, is like the hardest lesson new artists can learn. Because you were always like surrounded by the whole thing, like you gotta be able to do it yourself. Gotta be able to like you're surrounded by videos of how do you know, draw by imagination. You didn't have videos like nowadays of people going ahead being like, it's fine to use references, fine to use cheats, and it helps, you know. People like Disney use like things to cheat because, you know, it was just better, just easier, and put less workload on you. I chose a pencil. I was like, as you could see from the beginning rough sketch, it was gonna be a paintbrush, but I just thought a pencil is just much more easier to look at, like it, and through the profile picture it would be so much more easier to identify this big yellow pencil than a paintbrush that's just brown, like kind of like the rest of my clothes. It would have blended in. And that is also like number one thing other than anatomy, because I know a lot of people who grew up in Tumblr and Instagram is like the first videos they watch is anatomy or how to draw fingers, how to draw hands. I know I did that. No, the number one like videos you should watch when starting out is colors, because if you get down colors, it doesn't matter whether your art looks super realistic or super stylistic or what have you. If you can get your colors down, it will literally save any art piece. It really will. You need to learn what colors pop, what colors contrast, what colors don't look good together, what colors will look like this and will look like that with shadowing and highlighting, you know. What colors should you use? Because sometimes you know, if you're not really an artist, you might just look at an art piece and you're like, wow, all that like looks so good. But sometimes you might notice sometimes people will use reds or blues or purples and even greens for shadowing, and it's all because of lighting and also contrast to other colors to make it pop, and also at the same time ironically blend in together. So don't feel bad if you're spending so much time on a sketch, because the sketch is literally gonna be your guide. So don't feel bad if it's too rough, but also don't feel bad if you spend too much time on it. Make sure you zoom out, zoom in, go ahead and like flip it and rotate it, whatever you want to do to make sure you go ahead and see the things like that you want to see. So this is where I go ahead and have I always have a layer called colors, and this is where I have all the colors I'll be using throughout the art piece, just all in one layer. I can see how they're gonna look like together. If I think that looks too dull, that doesn't pop out, I'll just change it right there instead of like, you know, being in the middle of like painting or what have you, being like, oh, this doesn't look right, let me fix it. And then you mess it up because you're like, oh no, I put this on the same layer and I blended it, or I did this or I did that. I mean, some people know what they want already. Like they either have it on like a separate piece of paper, they have it on a document or what have you. But me, I just like to have it like this because I can see all the colors together, see how they look like together, work together, see if anything, you know, needs to be changed so it doesn't blend in together too much. You know, one thing about digital art is that I'm actually pretty like impressed at how easy making art can really be in digital art. Sometimes I always worry that, oh man, I'm cheating because I'm using digital art, because it's just so much easier. I mean, did you see how easy those circles came out from my glasses? But thankfully, it's fine. It still takes skill to really know where to place it, what colors to use, you know, the shaping, the forming, the using of the program. And then finally I add the hard shadows, or hard highlights. These highlights are supposed to literally indicate where the light is coming from and show the clothes being affected by the light. The color you use for the highlights can change depending on what lighting there is. That is the number one key you need to remember. If there is blue and red lights from a police car, you need to put that in your drawing somehow. You cannot have this like yellowish light hitting them if they're right next to a police car. It just would not make sense. It would look weird. The same way as like if there's just nothing but a bright white light, you cannot have anything that's like a purple light or, you know, a green light. It just would not make any sense. And then I added my signature. For some reason, every time I wrote it, it just did not look right, but I finally got it right. Eventually I fixed it and I put it in there as like the signature, my official signature for the art piece. And that's the end. I think it turned out super cute. I love it. I am so proud of myself of it. This is the before. This is the final sketch of it. I really like how cute the sketch is. And final product. Thank you. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and just leave a like. Any suggestions of like art pieces or things I should talk about, just leave them in the comments down below, and I'll go ahead and see you in the next video.